Hello everyone, I just wanted to check in and say hi. I've been thinking of you, people that this email goes out to on the mailing list. I've met most of you before in classes down through the last few years. Some of you I've not met yet, but we've communicated about classes and stuff like that. So just really wanted to touch base. I'm not so used to doing these kind of selfie videos, and I'm not sure if at the moment I can see myself on the screen. It's a little bit funny. I feel like I'm talking to myself. Anyway, I'll keep on going. So yeah, I just wanted to touch base with you and kind of find myself, wondering how you guys are getting on. And I find at the moment my own mindfulness practice is really supportive. And I just want to share a meditation with you today, guided practice, meditation practice. And also in this email, I'd like to just link to maybe a couple or a few resources for accessing online meditations that are being offered regularly here in Ireland with meditation mindfulness teachers here, and also one that I'm tuning into that happens from the States as well. So there's actually lots of different kind of offerings online at the moment. So I'll link to a few of those in this email as well. It can be helpful to practice with others, as we all know. So yeah, checking in, wondering how you're doing and how am I doing. I feel okay today. I'm off today, as some of you may well know. I also nurse, having kind of taken a break from nursing for I think at least 6 years. I went back about a year ago. So this is an interesting time to be nursing. I don't know really how to put it into words, to be quite honest with you. Whenever somebody kind of even asks me how is work at the moment, I kind of don't even know how to describe it. It's like there's so much, it's such a big experience, there's so many changes, and I don't know. It's hard to put it into words. There's been times that it feels I feel quite in control, and then there's been other times that I felt quite overwhelmed, or just not sure what's happening, or confused, or maybe unprotected, or stuff like that, and fearful. Thankfully though, in the last kind of few weeks, I have not felt as kind of overwhelmed as I did before in the initial stages. In the initial stages of where we in Ireland were kind of coming to terms with restrictions on our movements, or kind of distancing ourselves physically from others, and in my work, kind of how to protect my patients, how to protect myself and my family, I found it really overwhelming. None of us knew what was coming. It was all uncertain times. It still is, but for me personally anyway, I feel like my nervous system has kind of adjusted to this new normal, and one of the things, of course, that has helped me is my practice. So I do hear, and I'm aware that there's a lot of anxiety around at the moment, understandably so. And I guess what I would say around feeling anxious or feeling afraid of uncertain times, or some of you may be experiencing worries financially at the moment, and these are all normal. So please don't give yourself a hard time for feeling some of these anxieties. It's normal, and you'll know, or you may have heard me talking about practicing being with what's arising. Mindfulness helps us to kind of give space to these emotions, like anxiety and stuff, emotions that we'd very often rather move away from. Kind of our practice helps us to Just gives them a bit more space. Oh wow, I'm feeling anxious right now. Where do I feel that in my body? Is it like a butterfly sensation? Is it in my chest? Do I feel it in my head? Where is it landing in my body when I feel anxious? Can I breathe with it? I feel anxious without trying to push it away or make it wrong. Can I allow this to be here too? So, and knowing as well that it's not the whole story, that we might be experiencing anxiety, but what else is here? Perhaps we might be also experiencing gratitude for, full cupboards of food, or a fridge of food, where maybe a couple of weeks ago there may have been some fear that we may not even have full fridges of food at times. So, just being with what's arising as best you can, not giving yourself a hard time for how you are or how you're coping, just trying to be compassionate with yourself. This is extraordinary times we are living through, and it's not easy. And I, at the moment, very fortunately, physically, I'm feeling very, very well. But I really want to extend my love to any of you who are not feeling well at the moment, or who have family members or friends who are not feeling well at all at the moment. I did hear yesterday about somebody I know who's quite unwell at the moment, and certainly it kind of brought it a little bit closer for me, and I wish her well. So maybe will we do a little bit of practice, so I could ramble on for a good while. So maybe I'll guide us in a practice of, I don't know, maybe 10-15 minutes. Let's see how it goes. So if you want to just sit comfortably, take a few moments to just let the body kind of come to stillness. Okay. So just allowing the feet to come down onto the floor. And feeling the touch points of the body with the chair that you're sitting on. Allowing the hands to just rest. Having a sense that the shoulders are just dropping away from the ears. You can softly close the eyes if you wish. Pausing, stopping, slowing down. Inviting you to take a few slower, deeper breaths, maybe 3 or 4. So feeling the breath come right into the body expanding and stretching and filling. Tracking that breath all the way in. And feeling the flow of the breath all the way out, tracking the flow, feeling the chest sinking, the belly sinking, the shoulders dropping down, the breath flowing out all the way to the end. So continuing to feel the breath as you breathe in slowly and deeply, more conscious breaths. allowing your breathing to return to normal now, so there's no need to manipulate the breath in any way, just allowing the body to do what it does. The breath comes in, the breath goes out, allowing this to happen without any altering it from yourself. Just for a few more moments, resting your attention on this in and out of the breath, the different movements, the different feelings of this in the body. And now bringing awareness to other sensations that you can feel in the body as well as the breath. So as you're sitting here, expand your awareness out to the entire body, feeling the sitting posture, maybe the weight of the body in the chair. Can you feel that? Can you feel the spread of the feet on the floor? How about the hands? Can you feel the hands? Maybe you can feel the touch of air against the hands. Is it cool? Is it warm? Is it skin temperature, so it feels imperceptible? What else can you feel in the body right now? Is there a sense of life, aliveness, maybe circulation, digestion, systems working, a little hum or buzz or vibrations in the body? What can you feel in this body right now? Maybe an ache somewhere, or maybe sensations of touch where the body's touching the chair. Can you feel sensations in the muscles of the body? Maybe some muscles feel quite kind of relaxed and that they've released, and then maybe some other muscles feel like they're kind of gripping a bit or bracing. Okay, just sending your attention around the body and feeling into the body. And as you do this, getting maybe a more kind of general sense of how the body is right now. How's the body feeling? Is it maybe is there restlessness? Is there an energy of restlessness in the body? Or calm, stillness, tiredness, wakefulness? How's the energy in the body? And allowing the body to be just as it is. This is a huge part of stress relief, when we can actually just allow life to unfold as it is without kind of trying to change it. It doesn't mean that we can't change things, it just means that if we only allow in certain things and kind of push out other things, it creates a lot of tension and stress. So the body, we've checked in with the breath, the body. So let's check in with your emotional state right now. So how do you think you're feeling right now? What kind of mood are you in? What is here? Is there fear? Is there worry? Is there anxiousness? Is there relaxation? Happiness? What's here? Not making anything wrong. Just noticing, checking in. What's contained within this moment for you. And if you're not really sure how you're feeling, because sometimes it's not so clear, just sitting for a few moments and bringing awareness to any thoughts that arise, because very often our thoughts will kind of tell us something about how we're feeling, because they're both feeding back to each other the whole time. So what is the thinking mind telling you right now? Or as you sit here for the last few moments? You liking this moment, not liking this moment, judging this meditation, judging yourself, judging me, maybe thinking of something else altogether. Is it something pleasant? Is it something unpleasant? So just kind of tracking the thoughts, or in a very light kind of way, just observing thoughts that come up in the mind. Nothing to do, nothing to change, nothing to judge or analyze. So we've brought attention to the body, emotions, thoughts, and opening now to sounds. So just not putting in any effort, but just shifting the awareness to this ability to hear sounds, to be able to hear, and just sitting quietly and listening. Sounds in the room that you're in or outside the room, maybe sounds from within your own body, just listening. Not judging, not deciding what you like or not even labeling them, just simply listening to the sound vibrations as they present, as they rise and pass. So knowing that these sounds are arising in the present moment. So focusing on the breath, the body, sensations, emotions, thoughts as they arise, sounds, these are all happening in the present moment. So we've directed our attention into the present moment. And don't worry if the mind kind of wanders off to other things, just call it back. That's not a problem at all. You don't need to make that wrong, or that you're not able to do it. Just come back. So I'd also like to bring in some compassion practice into this meditation. Compassion for yourself, and we can offer it out then, but let's start with ourselves. So perhaps you might like to call to mind maybe something that is bothering you at the moment. Maybe right in this moment there's something that's difficult for you. Or maybe more generally at the moment, maybe there's something quite, challenging you. So just calling this to mind. And if you wish, as you call this to mind, you're very welcome. If you feel like this is a supportive thing to do, you might just place a hand just very lightly and gently over your chest, or maybe even over your belly. And offering yourself even just this tenderness that this is tough, this is difficult, whatever it is that you're calling to mind. This is not something that you would choose for yourself, to feel like this or to choose these circumstances. So inviting you now to talk to yourself in your mind as if you're talking to a good friend. So offering yourself some supportive words around this. So what would you say to a friend who came to you with this? So it might be something like, this is not, I'm not choosing this, or may I be kind to myself, or may I have more ease in my day, or may may I feel more relaxed. So whatever it feels like for you, just offering yourself these kind of well wishes or sentiments to in a kind and compassionate way. Or may I feel safe, or may I feel loved, may I feel happy. So whatever phrases kind of speak to you, offering this to yourself. And now bring other people to mind. So just offering these wishes out in a more general way, so out to everyone. Kind of having this almost like a current from your heart to others, of kind of wishing that, you know, people feel healthy or well or at ease. People feel less fearful. Just offering this kind of current of care from your heart out to others. And before we bring our practice to a close, before I finish guiding the practice, I'd like to invite you just to take a few moments. So we're going through something really quite extraordinary at the moment, and it's quite likely that we'll be experiencing a new normal when we've moved through this period, when we're kind of out the other side of it, that things may feel a little different, it may look a little different. And what I find very helpful is to actually just spend some time every day imagining or kind of getting a sense of how I might like that new normal to be, you know, for myself, in my own life, and more kind of globally or in the community. So this might come to you in words, like in sentences, this is how I'd like things to be, or you might kind of see this as a vision, or however you bring this up in your mind, this kind of how you'd like the new normal to be. As you do this, see if you can actually connect with it as if it's actually really happening right now, that this is actually how it is. So how would you like to see yourself, your life, the planet, people? And now guiding awareness back into the physical body sitting in the chair, feeling the feet in contact with the floor. Maybe beginning to just gently move fingers, toes, and inviting you to take a big, deep, refreshing breath. And a stretch, maybe a yawn or a sigh. Bringing this guided practice to a close. And if you wish, whenever you're ready, you might like to open your eyes. Maybe even take a look around. So, I don't know how long that practice was, probably a bit longer than I said. So I hope you're still with me. So, yeah, so I'll share some resources in this, and I also want to share with you a practice that I don't think I've ever guided this practice in any of the classes that I do, but I'm finding it really helpful at the moment. It's a Buddhist practice called Tonglen. And it's one that can be, it can be intense, so you could give it a go and see how you get on with it. It's a practice where we work with the breath, and we work with kind of breathing in our own suffering, other people's suffering. So you're breathing in, you're actually consciously kind of breathing in the difficulties, the challenges. And then with your out breath, you're breathing out this sense of compassion, love, this very kind of steady, grounded kind of, a sense that I've got this, or, that the compassion's able to hold that suffering or intensity. So there is a guy I came across the other day that guides this really beautifully on insight. I think it's insight meditation or something like that. So I'll send a link to that as well, and you could give it a go. I mean, it may be for you, it may not be. Don't worry if it's not. It just really helps me at the moment. I'm really, really enjoying that practice at the moment. So also, if there's anything I can do to offer you support at the moment, something I was thinking of was, would it be helpful if I kind of offered maybe a mindfulness morning where we practice together for maybe 3 hours and I guide different practices? We could do this through Zoom, so you'd need a laptop really, just so that the screen is big enough to see, or maybe a phone would be fine. So that's something I can certainly do. What else? Yeah, I can touch base again as well. If there's any practices or anything that I'm finding helpful, I can certainly kind of touch base with you again, and let you know kind of what's helping me, what I'm finding useful to help navigate these times. And yeah, I just really wanted to just reach out and say hello, and really let you know, like literally several times a week at the moment, I think of you. I think of, wow, I wonder how everyone's getting on, and so I am thinking of you, and my heart goes out to you if you are finding this time very challenging, and just, please don't give yourself a hard time. This is a very challenging time for many. So nice to see you, well, virtually, or nice to kind of feel like I'm thinking of you anyway. And let's check in again. Okay, lots of love. Bye for now.